So growing up, I never actually wanted to be a paramedic. I wanted to be a doctor.
Come
So
on.
I worked really hard to get into healthcare. Um, uh, but that I think stems from my parents and my grandparents, who did quite a lot of work within the community. My mom and dad, whilst I was growing up, ran a center for people that were both infected but also affected by HIV and AIDS. Right in the beginning, when HIV was becoming a huge problem within South Africa. So I grew up with them in that space, and I also did volunteer work in the center with them, specifically in the hospice, where we worked with some of the patients that were passing away in that space. Um, um, After that, my mom left and she started, or she began to run a center for abused women and children and victims of gender-based violence. So I also got involved in that as well. What they would do is the forensic assessments for the victims before they would go to court. So the social workers would then do the interviews with the survivors as well as write all the forensic reports that would be used as evidence in the court to support the prosecution. And so I learned quite a lot from that space about things like child rights and women rights and all of that kind of thing. And then my grandmother also, she worked with street children and was very, very involved in sort of community development and that kind of stuff. So growing up, I was exposed to it quite a lot. I was very silly in my final matric year. I wrote two exams for every subject, and for no reason, I only studied for the first exam and I didn't open a book for the second one. And as a result of that, I didn't get the marks I needed to get into medicine. So-
You're testing the system, eh? You wanted to see
yeah,
how far the brain can take you.
No,
yeah,
the system tested
exactly.
him.
Yeah, the system testing.
So I got into a Bachelor of Health Sciences in Biomedical Sciences at Wits first, and then from there, that same arrogance continued for no reason apparently. I also decided I didn't need to study at Wits, so I bummed out completely at Wits, and then was excluded from the university. And so in that December period, whilst we were trying to figure out what I was going to do, my dad said to me, "Well, why don't you become a paramedic?"